Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be talking all about the Manchester United captaincy. We might mention Harry Maguire, although he's quickly becoming a player of the past for our club. So we'll talk about who we think might be the next captain and reveal, we've got a vote going on in the community area of the channel at the moment. So I'll reveal exactly who fellow fans think should be the next Manchester United captain. And as you can see, I've got Callum back on the channel. Hi, Callum. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Cal. So should we get into it?
Yeah.
So the next Manchester United captain. So as we know, the interim, well, not interim captain, but the vice captain has been Bruno Fernandes throughout the of last season, and Eric Ten Hag is not thought that he's going to announce who the next captain will be properly until he's got the whole squad in America. So obviously we've got a second game of the pre-season coming up, but he won't have all the squad with him until they land in America, and it's supposedly it's thought that is when Ten Hag will announce who the next captain will be. So who who do you think, Callum? Who do you think should be the next? Is it black and white? Is it easy? Is this going to be easy, or do you think it's a bit more of a Ten Hag's more of a challenge in deciding?
I think it's going to be straightforward. I think we all know who it's going to be. It's going to be Andre Onana.
Now that's funny. Very funny.
No, in all seriousness, I think in a sense it is obvious and who it's probably likely to be, but I do think that we should consider other options, especially now if Maguire isn't necessarily, because at the end of the day, you sort of need other people around the captain who the other leaders are. I can think of a few names, and I don't think the person that we're thinking of, for me, maybe I'm not sure how you think, but I don't really think he fully.
You're not think. I don't. I know, Cal. I mean, I know you love the guy, but I don't think Marcus Rashford's quite ready to be the Manchester United captain just yet.
He's one of the names I was thinking, but not necessarily the prime candidate. I was thinking more. I'm not gonna lie. I think Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion, isn't up to scratch to be a captain of Man United. I know that's going to be
That's a bit controversial, isn't it? Because obviously he is. If you look at the press at the moment, and if you're not listening to Agbang Lahore on Talk Sport, he wants Marcus Rashford, who's 24 years old, to be the captain, because he was one at 25 playing for some like mid-table Premier League side. He weren't going to win anything anyway. Ultimately, sorry,
he's a mentality monster.
Oh yeah, exactly. Marcus Rashford for me just isn't up to it yet. He needs to have a bit more consistency in his own game and perfect. Well, not maybe not perfect, probably the wrong word. Just prove a bit more consistency. We want to see him score some goals and just get. He's going to be heavily challenged this season for that position on left wing by Garnacho, isn't he? And I think that's enough for him to. That challenge is enough for him. I don't think he needs the captaincy based on the challenge he's going to have this season. Right. So, and you said that Bruno Fernandes, you don't think is captain material. No. Now, why is that? Go on, elaborate for us, Cal.
I think the fact that a lot of United fans expect or are desiring Bruno Fernandes as captain is sort of emblematic of the downfall of United over the last 10 years. Obviously, he gets good numbers. In terms of chance creation and all that, he runs around, he shouts, he moans and stuff. So he looks like a captain to some people, or a majority of people. But then again, a majority of people are always right. People rebelled for the communists, people voted for Hitler. Doesn't mean that everyone's always right. So, but yeah, in terms of Bruno,
bit extreme there, Cal. A bit extreme.
I know, it is a bit extreme, but I just think back to moments over the last year, 2 years. Liverpool game being a major one. I feel like every month or 2 months, regardless of the manager we've had, whether that's been Ole, Rangnick, Ten Hag, we've always seemed to bottle specific games, or we've had meltdown performances on a somewhat consistent basis every couple of months.
Are you blaming Harry Maguire for that then?
No, because Harry Maguire this season, Harry Maguire.
Sorry, not Harry Maguire. Sorry, not Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes. Are you blaming? You're blaming Bruno Fernandes for the whole side melting down?
No,
and
no, but I think that Liverpool game, if you just use that one as an example, the whole team sort of collapsed and didn't have any sense of direction, weren't working together. Bruno was wearing the armband that day. He took his shirt off because he wanted to come off. He was moaning, flapping, yelling. I think, obviously, that's somewhat of a trait you'd want in a captain, but you'd also want a captain to sort of inspire your teammates, lead for example.
No, I mean, I've got to agree with you there. I mean, in fact, I mean, I was going to, big up Bruno Fernandes, but he would be my choice based on the fact that I don't think any of the players haven't got any faults that we could choose from.
Well,
I mean, if you go onto like the channel's the United Voices community page, you'll see that there's a poll up at the moment. So there's obviously Bruno Fernandes, there's Casemiro, there's Marcus Rashford for the comedy element, and then there's Raphael Varane as well. And each of them, I think, have their pros and their cons. And for me, you just touched upon Bruno Fernandes' biggest con for me, the biggest negative would be that it wasn't just the one game, there was a whole period of last season where he was very petulant. He seemed to be angry. Even that one instance where he was shouting at Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho clearly told him to shut the F up.
No, he said stop moaning.
So was it start moaning? Right, okay.
But my point with Bruno is I think he is sort of one of the prime culprits of our somewhat semi-regular meltdowns that we have.
Right. Is that down to his mood, or what's that down to?
His attitude. Maybe it comes from the fact he just wants to win and he can't handle it when he's not winning, which there's some benefit to in certain occasions. But for me, I want a captain that, when we are getting drubbed by Liverpool, looks calm but aggressive and looks like he's chatting to people clearly and not walking over to teammates and throwing his arms in the air and looking at the floor and then asking to be substituted. And I don't think that's
I don't think it was actually true that he was asking to be substituted, though, was it? I think that was something that Gary Neville had said during his commentary of the game.
Well, I believe his behaviour in that game just wasn't captain.
Yeah. So okay. So I mean, where I stand with Bruno Fernandes, the petulance and that emotional side of his game is, we've all got emotions, Cal. But I mean, for me, that was the only concern. I think he's a stalwart, played more games than any other player in the top 5 divisions last season. Is an ever-present for United. You can trust him to I suppose you would say you can't trust him.
If that Weghorst played more games than anyone else, would just play.
No, that's a good point. And but Wout Weghorst was never can't be. It doesn't have the numbers anything like Bruno Fernandes, and isn't as versatile in a way as Fernandes could possibly be. But it is that petulant side, and I wonder whether Ten Hag took him to one side late last season and said to him, look, just calm it down, tone it down a little, because we did see it suddenly disappear from his game. And it was after that Jadon Sancho moment. Is that when you saw that, when it seemed that emotional side of his game just calmed down a little?
I think our performances just steadied, really.
Right. So moving on to, if we stick with the list that are in the community,
right,
so that viewers can. So the next is Casemiro on that list. Now, tell me what you think about Casemiro, Cal, and his option. Could he be a Manchester United captain?
I don't think he could be, purely for the fact he can't communicate to the wider team English-wise, realistically. But personality, leadership. It's weird. He doesn't speak English, but you can see how he
does communicate, doesn't he? He somehow communicates with his teammates.
Yeah, through body language, through direction, through his own displays. He's got the attributes of a captain, But I just think purely to the fact that you can't communicate properly one-on-one.
Yeah, because you'd expect more communication to happen in the dressing room, on the coach, on play wherever they are.
in
The
hotels.
captain actually it does more than just captains on the pitch, doesn't they? They instill kind of. I always remember. I think it was back when Brian Robson was captain. He would fine players if they were late for training.
Yeah.
And instill some kind of punishment as well, based on however that came about, or how that was agreed, whether that was agreed something that he came up with arbitrarily, or whether
Like,
he did
like
that with the
James Milner at
manager, or
Liverpool.
sorry.
Like James Milner recently at Liverpool, he's known for doing things like that.
Yeah, I know that's a throwback from times in the past,
Oh,
but the fact that Casemiro can't speak English.
Does put him off,
eh,
put him
does
down.
yeah,
And he
and
hasn't
for
been at
me,
the club long enough as well, don't you think?
no, and for me there was the other issue is how many red cards could he potentially get this season? And if you're as a club captain, you're setting an example, aren't you? And your example has to be almost like
But what
you
about Roy
almost be,
Keane?
yeah, yeah. Well, Roy Keane did pick up his red cards,
Yeah.
but throughout his career, his long career. But Casemiro picked up 2 last season in a relatively short pace of time. So the fact is that if he's going to get bans, he's going to be then missing. So therefore, you don't want your captain to be missing so often. Okay, through injury, you can accept, but through being banned for picking up cards, then no. Okay, so Casemiro is a no.
Yeah.
So next on the list, we've got Marcus Rashford. So Callum, your opinion on Marcus Rashford?
I'll just be straight up, not a captain.
No, I've got to agree. I've got
Yeah.
to agree.
I
I
don't
think
think yet. For example, I'll give my actual thoughts on Rashford rather than just giving an easy answer. I think long term, if he can do what he did last year again and again, or be there or thereabouts every year, grow into his skin in the United shirt in the sense that he isn't just always, because his game's very insular, isn't it? Like he's always high up, always waiting for a counter, needs service, and he doesn't create much. If he can display some sort of ability to create on the ball and like not always needing to be running in behind and Bruno passing it in for him, then I think it'll give him more of a authority in terms of the team, which will then allow him to show some leadership abilities, and then will possibly long term. My view long term, if I assume they'll both be at the club for a long time, it'll be between him and Martinez. One day he'll be captain.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about Marcus Rashford, but I'd add the period of time where pre Ten Hag, where he saw he'd held his head down, he didn't look happy, he didn't look like he was enjoying his football, and obviously at that time there was a lot of issues in the dressing room,
Yeah,
and it just showed you though his mentality, how he couldn't pick himself up. It looked like there was talk that he was going to leave the club, wasn't there? That we
yeah,
should. A lot of fans were calling for him to be sold because of his body language. He didn't. For me, I just don't think he is a leader yet. I mean, he's what 24, and I think I just totally agree with you. Actually, I just can't see him being
25.
a United captain yet.
Yeah,
Now, the last on that list of 4 names was Raphael Varane. And Raphael Varane's a little bit of a dark horse, isn't he? I mean, yeah, he'll have his negatives, which we'll touch upon. But go
he's
on,
so
you tell me.
underappreciated by not even just other teams' fans. He's underappreciated by United fans. I think we sort of disregard him a little bit because he's older. He's experienced, won stuff, but he's not like box office.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, yeah.
Personally, I look at Varane and I say he obviously gets injured a little bit and he's got his fitness issues, but he's played more than enough games this season this season to really say even when things are going bad, he's not putting his head down. He's not doesn't lose his head. He sort of holds himself with some character, a bit of dignity about him, a bit of class. He's clearly a leader in terms of our defence. If you watch him, how he organises and marshals it, even obviously Martinez, he's sort of directing him around when they're together. And his sort of communication-wise is very vocal. And I personally, if I was the man in charge, I'd be saying to Varane, "You're my captain."
My only issue, I agree with 99% of everything you've said, but my only issue is the fact that he probably can't play 2 games a week anymore. He can't play a Monday night football. He couldn't play a midweek game. And if you're fighting in all competitions, so in the Champions League, the Premier League, Monday night footballs, and so on, he probably won't be able to consistently play, even if he isn't injured, all those games. Now, is that a reason for you not to become a Manchester United captain? Probably not, really. I mean, but it just Ten Hag's not going to play him those games every game because he doesn't want to see him injured, doesn't want to see him out. In tow with that, there comes the fact that United are still interested in buying a centre back, and
that's if we sell Maguire.
Well, yeah, and the talk is about Rudiger and Alaba. About he's interested in make one of those two Real Madrid centre backs. Now, if they come to United, I mean, it's only a rumour. We don't know if this is true. But imagine neither of let's say we get Rudiger. He's not going to come to Manchester United to sit on the bench. Rudiger, yeah, he's not going to come to United and sit on the bench, is he? So who is going to have to step aside? Martinez or Varane?
I wouldn't want. Martinez definitely isn't stepping aside. Yeah. Varane possibly could be just because of his fitness, but I don't.
And from forgetting, even if you just forget the two names that I mentioned and forget Real Madrid, Eric Ten Hag still wants a centre back. It's known he does. Yeah. So therefore, is he going to bring a centre back in who knows he's going to be on the bench?
But
what is the point then? Is this guy going to be at the same level as Lindelof? Then why would anybody come to a new club? Why would you spend 40, 50 million on a centre back for that guy to be sat on the bench, not guaranteed a game?
Let's use David Alaba as an example. He's 32 years of age, right?
He's 31.
Okay, well, 31, 32, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, he's going to come to United. Varane in the league last year played 34 games and played 34 games across all competitions, 24 in the league. So we played over, was it 58 games or?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's 58. It's 58. Yeah.
So you would say there's another 24 games for someone to start. I'd say that's enough to bring in someone who's that age, like an Alaba, who's probably being pushed out of the Madrid side anyway.
Well, the issue for them is that will they want to do that? Will they want to play a bit part role? That is the concern, isn't it? That is a concern. So for me, it's what is Ten Hag's plan? Is Ten Hag going to give Varane half the games and a new centre back half the games, or is he going to is he looking to push Varane out?
I don't know. I don't think.
It's slow. Is he? I'm not saying Varane. From a performance point of view, Varane. There's no reason you would ever really consider pushing Varane out. Yeah. The only concern is his fitness levels, and therefore it's that why Ten Hag is looking to bring in a new centre back.
I think we just need more quality. We can't rely on Maguire as a backup.
Oh no, he's gone. We can like disregard Maguire.
Yeah, no, that's who we're looking to replace, really. Or someone who fits the system. Maguire doesn't really fit the system. That's the main problem for him. Well, so in your opinion, who's your captain?
I don't think there's a perfect. Honestly, the nearest perfect choice is Raphael Varane, from a purely his attitude, his performances. Probably the amount of respect that he gains from those around him. Senior players, young players. He basically won almost everything, hasn't he? Yeah. So ideally, in an ideal world, it would be him. I think he has. So I'm a pragmatist, and I have to look at it from what it is. he is coming towards the end of his career. If he does get, Ten Hag will be looking to bring in a new centre back, as I pointed out a few minutes ago. So therefore, looking to share Varane's duties among two players, not one. Marcus Rashford is just not ready to be captain. He's got more, he needs to improve as a footballer in general. Casemiro has, like we mentioned, the language issues, which is massive. And then there's potential, if he carries on to pick up red cards, and he could go missing for parts of the season. So then we go back to Bruno Fernandes. Again, he's an ever-present. The only issue was kind of the bit of the emotional side to his game, which I think come the end of the season he did control. So for me, I think the obvious choice will be Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't be surprised though if Varane, and I'd be happy if Varane. I'll be happy if Varane, but I think it'll be Bruno Fernandes for sure.
I'll be honest. My preference would be Varane, but I do think I don't have a problem with Bruno being captain. I think that's going to happen. I'd be surprised if anyone else was announced captain. Really surprised.
Me too. I mean, I don't think Martinez is an outside chance, but
I don't think there's any other chance of anyone being captain other than Bruno. I don't think there's any odds, really. I can't imagine it.
Bruno is the favourite amongst anybody, anywhere that's doing polling. Well, actually saying that, let me go and have a look at the community page on the channel and have a look, see where it currently stands at the minute. So it's only been up for half an hour or so, and there's been 17 votes. So it's not a lot of votes, but Bruno Fernandes is ahead on 65%, Casemiro in second on 35%, but Marcus Rashford and Raphael Varane haven't had a single vote yet. So I think, that'll be up for, I usually leave them up for a couple of days. Well, it's usually about 2 days where they'll get regular votes on. So we might end up getting 150 odd, 160 odd votes in from viewers. But it looks like so far that Bruno Fernandes is the United fan favourite. So, have you got anything else to add, Callum?
Not really. I'll to be fair, I do think it's just 99% likely to be Bruno. I'm surprised looking at the votes though. If I'm being honest, 18 votes, 61% Bruno, 33% Casemiro, 0 for Rashford, and percent for Varane.
Yeah. 0% for Varane, isn't it?
No, 6. See now.
Oh, okay. Let me look. It might have changed in that few moments since I last refreshed it. So we got 6% on Varane. So Varane's had a vote. Yeah. So I expected it to look something like that. I mean, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes are massive fan favourites, aren't they? They are. And like you say, Varane he's a bit under the radar, isn't he? Because he's... Yeah. Because he doesn't... I was going to say, because he doesn't play in an overly creative position, which is true.
He's not very aggressive to his game. It's more his awareness, his vision, his positioning that's great. But it's not like a Vidic. Like,
Alan, let me just step in. Your audio, and we're live on the video, so your audio just died. So what we're best doing is just ending the video here, so we didn't get too much distortion from your audio. So let us know what you think, those of you who are watching the video, who you think should be Manchester United captain. If there's anybody that we've missed who you think should have been, we should have spoken about, let us know in the comments below. Please smash a like on the video, and please subscribe and help the channel grow. Thanks for watching.